What is up, you guys? So this week I'm super excited because I've got myself a big old truck. It's a 2019 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. If you guys have never heard of the Power Wagon, the easiest way to think about this vehicle is a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, but in truck form. This is probably one of the most capable trucks that money can buy. It is ridiculous with front and rear lockers. It has a sway bar disconnect, Bilstein shocks, a winch up front, and just tons of things that make this a true off-road machine. And the fact that it's a massive 2500 Ram is even more impressive. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys everything about the exterior of this truck, show you everything about the interior, take it for a drive, and hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of off-roading in this thing as well. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so here it is, the 2019 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. This thing just looks like a beast. This, in my head, is what a truck is supposed to look like. This thing looks so mean, it looks so aggressive, and it's just massive. It's so cool. I love this thing. So it's finished off in flame red. As you guys can see, it's a really nice looking red. Doesn't have metallic flake or anything like that to it. It's just a solid red color. Obviously looks great with all of the black accents going around the truck. Now coming to the front of the truck, here is where it's going to be extremely unique to this Power Wagon. So you have this entirely unique front grille that says Ram right there in the middle, and then you are going to have full LED lights on this truck, which is actually very impressive for any truck. So you're going to have LED daytime running lights. It's going to be these two bars that are going to illuminate. Looks really nice, definitely a very prominent look during the daytime. You are going to have LED low beams, high beams, and then LED fog lights. So as you guys can see right here, everything looks nice and crisp at night. And then down here is going to be your winch. So this has a Warn branded winch, and it's really nice. You have this red little accent right here. It's got a real thick, high quality cable to it, and the way it works is very simple. You do have a little area here. You lift this guy up, you're gonna plug your controller into there, and then from there you're just gonna control your winch like normal. So there is a latch or like a little clutch underneath here. You can push that down, and what that's gonna do, it's going to allow the winch to basically free spool. You can pull it out, and then once you lock it back into place, that is when you're going to use the controller to reel back in your winch and do whatever you need to do with your winch, whether that's helping get you up an obstacle or whether that's pulling a tree out of the ground, whatever you guys want to do with a winch. But the winch can take on about 12,000 pounds of weight, so that is extremely impressive. Now coming up to the top of the truck, you are going to have this decal, and it looks really nice. I mean, obviously I love the front end of the truck. The entire thing just looks extremely mean, extremely aggressive. And then I do love how this entire bumper is going to be steel. So all the way down here, if you guys can hear this, that is all steel. So you guys don't have to worry about going through brush and it scratching up some cheap plastic bumper. You're going to have heavy duty stuff on this truck. Looking at the Power Wagon from a profile, here's where you can really tell this is a massive truck. So standing next to this thing, I'm 6 feet tall, and it towers over me. As a matter of fact, I went under a sign that said 7-foot clearance, and I was extremely close to scraping the truck on that sign. So that gives you an idea of how big this thing is. Now coming to the wheels, you are going to have Goodyear Wrangler tires wrapped around here. They're 33-inch diameter tires, and then you are also going to have this nice sort of matte black with a machine finish going around it. Looks really nice. And then if you guys can see back here, hopefully you can, you are going to have your Bilstein shocks located right there. So it is nice that you have those. You are going to have those all around the truck. And then of course you have things like your front sway bar disconnect and front rear lockers, all that good stuff. Your Ram 2500 badge right there on the hood. Looks really nice. You're going to have your 6.4 liter Hemi badge right there. And yeah, I just love the look of this thing. It looks really, really nice. Now coming down the side of the truck, you are going to have a few options on here. So you have your Power Wagon decal running all along the side here, and then you have these tube steps right here to help you get in. Personally, if I'm really gonna take this off-roading, I would definitely remove those and maybe do like a rock rail that's a little bit closer to the truck, but still can help you get into the vehicle as well. Coming to the back, you guys can see the Bilsteins right back here as well. All right, so here's one thing I want to show you guys. So you do have this toolbox that's basically built into the truck. So once the vehicle is unlocked, you can push that, lift it up, and then you have a ton of space in here. It's very deep. You do have a 115 volt plug right over here to the side. So I do like that. You guys can hear it's extremely heavy duty. You also have a light right over here on the right side. And yeah, it's a pretty good amount of space. But the funniest thing about this is that you have a little latch here to basically get someone out of here if you locked someone in here. I don't even think it's big enough to fit a human being in here unless it's like an infant or a child, which in that case, you know, it's just pretty bad. So it's funny that even this little pull tab has an image of a person jumping out of a toolbox. It's absolutely hilarious. But you do have this on both sides, so it is pretty practical in the sense that you don't have to add an additional toolbox to the truck. I mean, you're more than welcome to still, but it is nice that you have this included with the truck. All right, so coming to the back of the Power Wagon. So first of all, I love these LED lights at night. I think they look really, really good, super high quality, and it's just a very signature look, especially in this class of truck. I love it. And then right here in the middle of the tail lamps, it's gonna say Ram on each side. And I do also like how you have this Power Wagon decal back here, and then this gigantic Ram stamped there on the back. So you obviously will never mistake this truck for being anything else than a Ram 2500 Power Wagon. So I absolutely love that. Now, one thing you're gonna notice is, unlike something like the F-150 Raptor, you're not gonna have the center mounted exhaust, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing in terms of looks and aesthetics. I love the way that the exhaust pipes look on that truck, but in terms of real world off-roading, having those pipes there is gonna mean if you get at a crazy angle, those pipes are gonna scrape. And so the pipes on here are going to be on the right side, right behind the wheel. So as soon as your wheel's coming off something, it's just barely gonna miss that exhaust pipe, which is a really smart idea. So on top of that, it also cleans up the back. Once again, it's personal preference whether you like the exhaust look or you don't like it. Now, of course, you do have your hitch right back here for a trailer. Folding this down, it is very well damped. You don't have bed liner or anything like that in here, but you do have lights in here so that way you can see at night. And then you have your cover for the bed. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of bed covers, but it really depends on your situation. This is very helpful for a lot of people for many different situations. So Ram did throw this on here as an additional option just to show what it looks like. It does fold back and everything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the exterior of the truck. I'm gonna show you guys what the key looks like, and then we'll go inside the truck. All right, so this is gonna be your key for the 2500 Power Wagon. You have your lock, your unlock. You do have your tailgate release right there. You're going to have remote start. Panic button is going to say Ram right there, if you guys can sort of see that. And it's a real high quality key. It's very, very nice. And then Ram here on the back. I even love how this little leather piece is extremely high quality with stitching and all this stuff. I will say, just based off of the key, you can tell that Ram is really stepping up the game on everything that they do. Now, looking at the door, you can get in using that button located right there. So you hit it one time, the beep is going to obviously indicate that it's locked, and then there's a touchpad behind this door, and as long as you have the key on you, you put your hand there. There we go, and that will unlock the truck. Sitting inside of the Power Wagon, first of all, looking at the door, you do have this interesting texture right up here. I'm really not sure if you guys can see it at all, but it basically looks like plastic steel. That's the best way I can describe it. And right below that, you have this gray leather, which feels really, really nice. Big door handle. You do have memory seats, 1 and 2 settings. And coming down here, you're going to have your window controls right here. Of course, your window locks, door locks, your mirror controls. Now, one cool thing is the exterior portion of the mirror you can actually adjust now by pushing this button. So you push that button, you can adjust the outside one, and then of course you can adjust your inside mirror like normal. And then this button here in the middle is going to fold in your mirrors in case you're in a tight parking spot or getting into your garage, anything like that. Tons of space right here, so you are going to have lots of cubby space here, 2 cup holders down here, and then cubby space right down here. Now shutting the door, nice solid shut. Now one thing that is a little old school, you still have the foot actuated emergency brake right there, or parking brake right there. Quick look around the cabin. Now, starting the truck is easy. Push start, just like most cars nowadays, and then hit that button there to start. Nice. One thing I think is pretty cool is when you start the truck, there's a little Power Wagon symbol that shows up and it like shakes like you're in a rugged vehicle, because you are. So starting with the steering wheel, first of all, you have perforated leather over here off to the side, smooth leather here. You're gonna have this stitching right below. If y'all can see, that looks very nice. Over here to the right, you have your cruise control settings, because this does have adaptive cruise control. And over here to the left, you're going to have your phone commands, voice commands, and you are going to have these buttons to control the screen right up here. So coming to this screen, zoom in so you guys can see a little bit. Using those buttons I just showed you guys, you can go up and down, see different pieces of information. And then over here to the right, you are going to have your range on your fuel, what gear you're in at the very bottom, your oil temperature over there to the right, fuel gauge, speedometer, and then your tack over to the left with your water temperature as well. Now coming down here, you are going to have your lights. So you have automatic lights on here, of course. Your fog lights are going to be right here. Your bed light is going to be right there. Interior illumination, footwell illumination right there. Then looking at your stock, you do have your wipers here. You don't have anything on this side, just over here. And then to do your wipers, just like that, blinkers, and then push in to do a little spray, just like that. Now coming up, once again, I do love how you have this grab handle here. If you guys have seen any of my reviews, you know that I love grab handles, just because if you are doing off-roading, it's great to have one, especially on the driver's side. Leather dash right here, well, probably synthetic leather because it feels a little plasticky, but this definitely feels a little bit better quality. And then as you come up here, you have more of that interesting like plastic steel look. So if you guys can see that, but it doesn't look terrible. It almost looks like carbon fiber, but obviously it's not. I have my GoPro here, which I have actually left on. Go ahead and turn that off. You have RAM here. You have an area here to put something like a phone. So I have my cell phone in here. I have a tiny iPhone SE, and yeah, so it fits perfectly in there. You also have a 12 volt right up here. You have a speaker right back there for your Harman Kardon sound system. So that is nice. And then coming here, you do have that big 12-inch touchscreen display. This thing is humongous. It looks great. Definitely wouldn't be out of place in something like a Tesla because it's the same portrait style look. But it doesn't have quite the responsiveness as something like a Tesla. It's still very, very good for anything in this class. I think it's actually the best in its class. So hitting your home button, you can adjust each screen. So you can put something on the top, put something on the bottom. So I have music here and I have climate there. And then as far as controls, you have heated seats on both sides, ventilated seats on both sides, heated steering wheel, backup camera, which the cool part about the backup camera, you guys probably can't tell from the video, but the clarity on the backup camera is really impressive. It's probably some of the best clarity I've seen from a backup camera, which is really important because when you're backing up, you want to be able to see every single detail in the screen. So I do like that a lot. But for the most part, over here to the left, you have your temperature because you have dual zone climate control on here. So I can adjust that. And then my fan speed right over here. And you are going to have a tune knob, volume knob, mute, and then you have a button here to turn off your screen right there if you choose to do that. Now moving down a little bit more, you have your famous or infamous, whichever one you want to go with, turn dial shifter. So put that in reverse. Backup camera is going to show up again. Park, goes right away. Now I have made the mistake of going to turn my volume down. So I'm looking up here, I reached to turn my volume down and I accidentally twist this way. So I have put it in park while I was on the highway. It didn't do anything, so I just quickly slapped it back over to drive. Nothing happened, it just kept rolling like normal, so I don't want to know what would happen if I would have left it there for a few seconds. But not sure what would happen in that situation. If you guys have done that before or have any experience or have the answer to what would happen, please comment below. I'm very curious to see what would happen there. Now, front and rear locking diffs, just locking your rear diff. You have your axle unlock here, so basically that just shows that your axles are currently unlocked. Hill descent, and then your sway bar disconnect. So this is what's gonna make this truck what it is. It is an off-road beast, and the best way to tell that this is a dedicated off-road truck is simply by this. Probably have no clue what that is. That is rubber mats. This doesn't have any carpet, it has rubber floor mats. So you can get dirty, get mud on your shoes, get in this thing, and don't have to worry about messing up carpet. I love that. Not a lot of off-road vehicles do that. I think a lot more should do that, but that to me is very, very important in a true dedicated off-road vehicle. So that's really cool. Now you have some nice toggles here for parking sensors, towing, hauling, and then your traction control here, trailer brake right there. Then as we come down, I'm gonna have my actual shifter here to put this into 4 low, 4 high, things like that. So I love how sturdy it is. So if I push this back, you can probably hear that click. Listen to this. Ready? It is the most solid thing I've ever felt in my life. I wish every shifter would feel like this, not necessarily because it has to, but because I think I love the like Thor's hammer kind of feel to it. It's really, really nice. So I do like that. You have a little bit of storage area here, so I can put my wallet right down there. Now this is going to be 3 cup holders, as you guys can see. If you lift this up, it is a bench seat, so you have your lap belt here, and you guys can see the entire seat, what it looks like all the way up. When you fold that down, you're going to have a massive armrest here, so 3 people could fit their arms in here. I could fit my arm, my wife, she was sitting here, could fit her arm, and then someone in the back wanted to throw their arm here, they could do that too. It's just so much room right here, and it's softly padded, so you guys can see that with the contrast stitching. You lift this up, you've got a good amount of space. You have coin holders right in here. You have a USB in here as well. And yeah, pretty decent amount of space. I have like a measuring tape here. And then if you guys have not seen my last review I just posted, the Genesis G70 twin turbo rear wheel drive, be sure to check that out. You can click this card right here to check it out. But shutting this, going up, you do have auto dimming mirror right here, which has this beautiful design to it. You have LED lights in this truck. You actually have a button right here. If you guys can see this, sorry, it's a little cloudy today, so it's dark in here, but you have a button there to fold down your tailgate, which is pretty cool. And then you're going to have all of your SOS and assist features right here. Now this is going to be for your rear window. So if you guys can see that in the mirror. There we go. And then I do like this over here. So you push this button, you have a top storage area right here with a little LED light within that. And then you have your storage area right down here. And that is going to be the remote for the winch that I showed you guys earlier. But for the most part, the interior of this truck is very, very nice. I really like it a lot. One thing I did not point out, do apologize, is hopefully if you guys can see this, you have USB ports down there, and then you have USB-C located to the right of that. So that is pretty nice that you have that there. That's pretty much it for the front of the truck. Let's go ahead and hop in the back seat, check out the room. All right, you guys, so sitting in the back of the Ram 2500 Power Wagon, I've got plenty of room. Knee room is spacious, headroom is great. I still have about a solid 2.5 to 3 inches of headroom in the back of this truck, and I'm 6 feet tall. That is pretty insane. Of course, you have mat pockets behind each seat. You have vents. You're going to have heated seats on each outboard seat. You're going to have 2 USB ports and a 115 volt plug. You have 2 cup holders right here in the armrest, which is really, really soft. You have 2 cup holders down here on the floor. And then of course, you are going to have LED lights back here because this truck isn't already impressive enough. One thing that is pretty cool, you can fold the seats up, and then there's like a little fold out floor that comes out, which is a pretty nice little feature. And then for the most part, it's just very, very roomy. You have hooks back here, so if you needed to hang dry cleaning or something like that, you can definitely do that. And then you even have speakers up here in the roof, so that way you can have a better sound experience when you're listening to music. But that's pretty much it for the back seat of the truck. Let's go ahead and see what's under the hood, and then we'll take it for a drive. All right, so coming under the hood of the new 2019 Power Wagon. So not much has changed under the hood. You still have a 6.4 liter Hemi V8. It's gonna put out 410 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. But the biggest news is, whereas the older Power Wagon had a 6-speed automatic, this now has an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. So that should help with crawl ratios and things like that. You guys can see the improved crawl ratios right here on the screen. But yeah, it's a pretty good motor. Obviously, it's a Hemi, so it can handle tons of abuse, and these are tried and true engines. So let's go ahead, get this thing on the road and see how it does. All right, you guys, so behind the wheel of the 2019 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. You feel like a boss when you're driving this truck. It is such a big machine. It is massive. You know, it's funny, I've been like eye level with a ton of other trucks that have massive lifts on them, and this thing is stock. It's pretty crazy. So this with a lift would be ridiculously large, just so you guys know. But driving the Power Wagon, one thing I did not mention earlier in my review is this. This has double paned windows in an off-roading truck. That means it's extremely quiet in this cabin. I'm going about 50 miles an hour right now, and it's just like whispers coming from the tires. It is crazy. And these are pretty knobby tires, so I know, like, with the window down, here's the difference. And here's windows up. A lot quieter. It is nuts. And visibility is obviously great. Gigantic mirrors to see out of. Visibility out of the back is fantastic. I don't have any blind spots, really. It's comfortable. It's very comfortable. The seats are nice and plush. They have a decent amount of bolstering. Usually that's my biggest complaint with trucks, is they don't have any bolstering. This has a good amount of it. So that is great. The Harman Kardon sound system on here, fantastic, really good sound system. And yeah, I just love all the amenities. Heated seats, cooled seats, heated steering wheel. Of course, you guys saw all that just a few minutes ago. But it's just crazy for me that this truck is so capable, and yet it has all these features, and it's just a really cool mixture of things. I really enjoy it. Now, complaints about the truck so far, well, not massive complaints. The only things I can really think of is I actually do wish it had a sunroof of some sort, and I wish the steering wheel was able to telescope out. It just goes up and down, and I feel like I'm reaching way out here in order to put my hands on the wheel, because my legs are very long. Even with the pedals adjusted, I still have to sit pretty far back. But once again, those are minor complaints, but for the most part, it's a very impressive truck. All right, you guys, so we can't not take the Power Wagon through some mud and water. It's funny because there's a sign right there that says, "When flooded, turn around." Not when you're in a Power Wagon, baby. That was awesome. All right, you guys, so since I can't find a ton of off-roading, I did found this nice little creek, and the fording depth on here is 30 inches, roughly 2 feet 6 inches. And this thing is just killing it. Waving through, no biggie. Ugh. And we are out. Well, everyone, that is gonna wrap up my review of the Ram 2500 Power Wagon. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to take it off-roading this time, or at least rock crawling, because I know that's really what this truck is meant to do. So hopefully I can get this truck again and we can make it happen the next time, but this time I just couldn't make it happen. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Also subscribe if you are new to my channel. I post new content every single week. And be sure to check out the link in my bio to spec out your own Ram 2500 Power Wagon. If you want the biggest, baddest Ram that there is, this is the truck to get. This thing is comfortable, it's quiet, it has every feature you would ever really want in a vehicle. It looks great, it's huge, and it's just an all-around great truck. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time.